Hello, good evening, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Men's Lounge. When it comes to Mondays, my excitement level is different. It's very, very different. I mean, coming off from a weekend full of all kinds of activities, fun, partying, church, demonstrations, arguments, but it's all part of what makes life. And so I get very excited on Monday because it gives me a lot to talk about. So let me start by saying thank you for welcoming me into your homes this evening. Let me urge you all to join us on all our social media platforms at ETV Ghana. You can be part of this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. At ETV Ghana, you can find us. The WhatsApp lines will be open quite early. The number is 02022222054. I repeat, 02022222054. Join us. Send us your comments and everything, and we'll do justice to that. I'm going to go on my very first break. When I'm back, I'll introduce my topic for today and my guest so that we can start a discussion. My name is Nanaya Odami, your host. Please stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we just entered the lounge and we are about to start our discussions. So last week we spoke about abandonment, and in that topic we learned a lot about what the effects are, what we should do, what abandonment issues brings to future relationships and all that. And I believe we did justice to it. A lot of your comments came. Those of you who had questions, I'm sure you've seen the answers on your phones because we sent a lot of the answers to your personal phones. Of course, your questions were customized or personal, and so we try to address them as such. So this week we are discussing resilience, and I want to look at developing resilience in challenging times. Obviously, developing your how to, we are not at war, I know, but how you are going to, prepare yourself, you know, face off the current pressures. When I talk about the current pressure, daily pressure, how you want to face it off and live sane or have your sanity intact. That's what we are going to be discussing today. With me in the studio to do justice to this topic, I have Mr. Patrick Otieku Buedu. He happens to be the CEO, Spearhead, author, and a life coach. Patrick, Akwaba.
Charlie, what is it?
Nyame adom, wo nso ɛ?
I'm not penny for.
Hey, Debbie, hey. Debbie. Me a penny and come me kɛseɛ mu.
Okay.
How was your weekend?
It was good. It was good.
It was?
It was good. Yeah.
Which of the events did you take part? Demonstration, church, party, argument?
None of the above.
None of the above. You were hiding in your little corner.
Hiding my little corner.
Sometimes you need it. After a whole Monday to Friday, even the Saturday of late, you don't even have it. And so it's that little part of the Sunday that you actually get to keep for yourself.
I mean, funerals and weddings and outdoors and all that. Charlie. The weekend itself is hectic.
It's taken, it's taken by all the social responsibilities. But what's important is that you have life.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I'm glad you're here because it's been a while.
Charlie,
So today we are discussing resilience.
Yes.
And of course, looking at our current situation. Let's use our current situation.
Okay.
Resilience.
Okay.
How do we define resilience?
Okay. Thanks for the opportunity, Nana. When we say resilience, we are basically talking about preparing for something, adapting to something, and then recovering from something. So it's, there are difficult moments, challenging moments, stressful moments. How do you prepare for those moments? How do you adjust your life such that these moments do not get under your skin? And then when you have been hit by the challenges of times, how do you recover from them and bounce back? Basically, these are the things we are talking about. So when we say resilience, we are talking about taking advantage of how to prepare for the difficult moments, the challenging moments. And sometimes when these difficult moments are coming, we see them. You see in the news, you hear them, and you know that there are going to be difficult times. So how do you prepare for those times? Basically, when we say resilience, that's what we're talking about. So preparing, adapting, and then recovering.
Preparing, adapting, and then recovering. That's how you put the definition of resilience. So is this something that one has to know how to do? Is this something that we need to prepare for?
Yes.
Is this something that we need to develop?
Yes.
in us?
Well, the past 35 years, neuroscience has done a lot of work in that regard, and therefore they have given us a lot of understanding into resilience, a lot of understanding into stress. We now know that the human being, we don't only have a single brain, but we have multiple brain. Your heart has a brain, your head has a brain, your heart is a brain, and your gut is also a brain, and they
Okay.
all communicate. When we say again resilient, one of the key things we need to understand is that there are 4 domains. One, physically, you need resilience.
Okay.
That is your physical. I mean, if you are tired, you are tired. We are energy systems, so we dissipate energy and then renew the energy. So if you are tired, what do? You rest. The second one is your mental. Mental means that your ability, your ability to think through things and be able to work through with your mind. Now, when your body is tired, it affects your brain as well. Okay, your attention span and all that.
Yeah.
Then the next one is spiritual. When we say spiritual, we are basically talking about talking about your value system, what is important to you. So again, when you don't have anything to hold on to, you don't have, and again, it may mean different things to different people. So some people go to church, some people they have the relation with their God, give them that kind of resilience. So there's a spiritual part of it, and then the other one, which is common, is the emotional part of it. But they all work together. In other words, when one breaks down, it will affect all the others. It's just like, I mean, you work like at a place where you have, let's say, a flight of you have 13th floor. Every day you go, you use the elevator. One day you go, the elevator is not working. You are forced to climb this flight of stairs. By the time you get to your office, you are tired. Now, just because you are tired, when you go and your office has not been cleaned, you are likely to go ballistic.
One time.
Exactly. So what happened is that physically you were tired. That's why we say a hungry man is an angry man. Yeah, because they are interrelated.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when people one domain breaks down, it affects all the other domains, and that is why it's important for us to look at the interlinkages. And for me, sometimes when things are happening in the nation, for instance, and something is happening somewhere, sometimes either the security agencies or they are not able to make the linkages for them us to see that these things could explode and things like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I thought, I mean, talking about resilience, obviously, could also be by choice. I mean, if something is such a bother, and it's probably my decision to be bothered or not. I mean, to decide to stand fit for it or not. Or there isn't.
Nana,
Yes.
there are 3 things you need to consider. Number one, there are things you can't do anything about. You can only be concerned about it.
Exactly the reason I shouldn't be bothered.
So there are things you can't do anything about. We call it circle of concern.
Yeah.
You can do nothing about it. You can talk about it. As you sit here, when they say petrol price is gone up, you and I, we can't do anything
don't
about
have a
it.
choice.
Exactly. So when you go to the shop, the supermarket, and they say that milk the price has doubled, you can't do anything about it. So we have circle of concern. Then we have circle of influence. There are things that we can influence. We don't only we are not only concerned about it, but we may be able to influence
To some
it.
extent.
To some extent.
Yeah.
So we may have to expand our circle of influence. Are there people we can talk to? Are there people we can convince for them to be able to agree, for them to be able to give us some leeway, for them to be able to support us, for them to be able to give us increase our salary, for them to be able to do whatever. Those are things we can do. And then we have things that are within your control.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to resilience, you need to work for things that are within your control and things you can influence. Of course, things that you are concerned about, circle of concern, you can't do anything about it. So when it happens like that, you need to build that into your psyche and say that, no, I can't do anything about it, so why worry? Circle of influence, I can do something about it, so why worry?
Exactly my point.
What I can control, circle of control, I can do something about it, so why worry?
Why worry?
Exactly.
Because look, I have a problem. Okay, what's the problem? The problem is I don't know the answer to this. Okay, you
Why
know
worry?
that. So I have a problem. Oh, okay, what's the? Oh, I have the answer. Why worry then? Okay, so in your previous submission, you mentioned the mind. Obviously, the mind is here
Yes.
in our head.
Yes.
Now, let's concentrate on the mind.
Okay.
Now, during times, the mind can be like a very dangerous place. Okay, we go into our minds and we project our worries. We are there, you are thinking, okay, what can you do and all that. How can we train our minds to assess the great gifts that the mind can give us? You know, there are people who will think in the end they don't even get answers, and unfortunately, the mind tunes them up to negativity. But I don't think that's what the mind is made for.
Yeah.
How do we make it work better for us?
Every mind, before you see the mind in action, there are filtering system behind the mind. Okay. So the action of the mind itself is survival, is making meaning of its environment and making sense and interpretation.
Yeah.
And then that interpretation will lead to a certain feeling, and that feeling will lead to a certain set of actions. Now, behind these actions are what we call filters and drivers. One of it is the driver. One of the things that drive us is our purpose.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have a clear purpose, you will have difficulty making meaning and activating the mind and utilizing the mind. Number two, your sense of value. What is important to you? If you don't have a clear sense of value, because it's your value that drives you. If you don't have the sense of value, it will affect your interpretation. If you don't, your belief system, it's not proper. I mean, it's not correct. Again, your belief system, if you believe that, things are difficult and nothing can be done about it, then obviously that's the interpretation you're going to give to everything in life. And obviously, you're not going to get the best out of life. Within the same context, you have two people. The same thing will happen to them. In fact, maybe two of them are working in the same company. They are all fired from the company. One person will go out and start crying. You know what? Because a filtering system is negative. A filtering system is not working for him.
Yeah.
The other person will go out and say, no, you know what? I'll be fired, but I'm going to get a new job.
I have to survive.
This may be difficult, but he's going to put in everything, talk to the right people, and the next, he's either getting a job or starting something by himself. So it's the filtering system that you have. That's what the Bible says that we should do what we should not be conformed to this, but we should transform by the renewing of our mind. So it's all working on that filtering system that we have, and when that filtering system is worked on, trust me, the thinking is going to be correct. So the mind can be positive or the mind can be negative, depending on the filtering system that we're using.
Well, it's interesting how Patrick has spoken for more than 10 minutes. I was waiting for the quotation to come because ordinarily it would have started the conversation. But I said, watch it. Okay, now I've got the quotation, so it's fine. But you know, talking about the mindset, talking about the mindset, let's take someone who is struggling to put food on the table at home.
Yeah.
And you'd agree with me that such a person has a different or could be influenced by a certain kind of mindset.
Yeah.
How do we help, or how can such a person change their mindset, especially when they feel so negative that they feel, I mean, being the fact that they can't even put a single meal on the table for the family.
You see, like I was saying, your filtering system, whatever you are running at the back of your mind, is telling you what you can do and what you cannot do. So if the person believes that, yes, I can't put food on the table, but I can do something, there's something I can do about it, then you activate the mind to look for the answers. You're asking the right question. You're asking the question, how can I? But if you say that I cannot, it's difficult, I am new, then obviously you are telling the mind not to engage, not to be active, not to be able to give you the answers. Even in your sleep, when you are going to sleep, have you noticed that there are times that you are thinking about something and you go to sleep and you wake up and you have the answer?
Yeah.
How come? Because when you were sleeping, unconsciously you were still active. Your mind was looking for the answers. So when we give our mind that task, it will look for the answers for us. So when you can put food on the table, you must ask the right questions. When you ask the right questions, the mind will be activated and will start looking for the answers. You know, there have been situations where you wanted to do something, you realized that no answer was coming from nowhere, no solution was coming from anywhere. But then at a point in time, you realize that your mind started giving you some ideas to think about. And when those ideas come, you realize that, oh, these are actually the solutions you needed. And that is what I'm saying, that when you give your mind the right task, the right questions, then it will look for the answers for you.
Well, it obviously tells us how strong our minds are and how it can help us attain especially get the answers. But there are some that you can't get the answers. So even when you put your mind to work.
No, because sometimes we are not calm. Sometimes the heart
No,
is
but
not
there are
calm.
some that you can be calm everything and you
Well,
get an
are
answer.
you referring to Ghana? This
Oh no, like Okomode now that now doing home. Obe sorry na sleep ni ho. I mean, it's not there. It's
Yeah.
not there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That I mean, again, sometimes you need to look at the real.
I
What is
get that. Yeah,
real? What is
I mean, the
realistic?
reality
And
is what.
exactly
Yeah,
reality.
yeah, yeah.
And then,
So so again, I mean, let me go back a little bit. The word resilience, or I mean that whole concept around resilience. Does the resilience mean that you will not experience difficulty or any distress once you attain that level of resilience? You are not going to. Does it mean you won't experience any difficulty or distress or anything?
No, remember the definition is saying that preparing, adapting, and then what? Recovering. So there will be situations where you will be hit big time. Difficult moment will come, and it happens, and that is life. I mean, the moment you see that you go to the hospital, and they monitoring your heart rate is just straight line, you are dead. So life is ups and downs. So it's a natural thing. So yes, these difficult moments will come, but once you have resilience, what happens is that you can smile at it. You can smile at the storm. The difficult moment, the storms will come. The difficult moments will come, but you smile at it. Because the point is that yes, other people may choose to cry, but others you can say that, you know what, this I'm going to overcome it. This I'm going to make sure that I'm able to beat it, and then you put in all the necessary resources to be able to beat. Because you see, Nana, our mind is a great resource.
Yeah.
Your mind is a great resource. It will look for the answers for you. It will connect with other people, and they will give you the answers, and you'll be able to do it. You know.
Is there any correlation when it comes to gender?
I think that maybe the area where it comes to gender is when maybe women tend to activate more feelings instead of maybe the action part and the interpretation part, and that is the only thing. But other than that, it's about the same. You know, it's about how you build yourself to be able to handle the situation, you know, of life, the difficult moments of life.
But you see, maybe this tags along, or this explains what you said about the feelings that a woman will put to anything.
Yeah.
I mean, because by research, it's always been proven that women seem to tackle situations even better. They are usually very calm, and they kind of
not always calm.
let me speak for them small. Let me speak for them small. They are always very calm, and they eventually almost always suggest, you know, the best solutions to most of. But being men, it's
no. I think that women are more authentic.
They are more authentic
with their feeling and how. But
men,
we mask it. We mask it. Benyinu Koto, if he's going through a difficult moment, he'll mask it, especially in front of the kids.
What's that thing? Is it ego?
No, I think it's the
you are struggling. Say it.
I think it's the way we've been brought up. You know, that kind of thing. So we have been cultured in that way. So the thing is hitting the guy, and he's just, you know, and you see, even the weeping and letting it go itself is catharsis, but people don't know, and they keep it in, and then it's actually killing them. You know, I'll show you some graphs later on. You know, but it's something we need to come to a level where you realize that, Charlie, we are energy systems, and when you are weak, you are weak. When you have dissipated energy, you have
just
dissipated
like a machine. When you are breaking down, you need to be fixed.
When you are sick, you are sick. You need to don't become a Superman. You know, be real, be natural.
But our kids think we are Supermen, no?
And that is another problem, because you see, then when they are also growing up, then we still encourage them to feel that we are Supermen, and they also are Supermen. You know, let them understand that we are all, I mean, we are real human beings. And actually, usually when I do sessions and I ask people to tell me about themselves and their identity, they write up positive things. But it's not. You have a weakness, you have a limitation, you have boundaries, you have shadows, you have your strength, and you have potential, and yet people only focus on their strength. You know.
Well, keep your messages coming in. I think this is a message coming from a viewer, and Kojo from Baolishi. So he says, how do we use resilience as an advantage to stay steadfast when the times are difficult, like the economic situation we find ourselves in Ghana?
Okay, let me just use this to explain to you.
Okay.
So now the top left the left. This
so I think it's a bit difficult to see from here, but if my people from the
we have the left side of the grid and we have the right side of the grid.
Okay.
Sorry. The left side of the grid is negative.
Okay.
negative emotions. Because if you're not able to handle the stress, you have all these negative emotions coming up. Now, what are some of the emotions at the left side? The top there is anger, and look at the background weather. Okay, it's energy draining. So if you are shouting and being anxious and fearful of whatever, the energy, you are dissipating a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Okay. When we come down, it's cloudy. It is negative, but the intensity is not too high. So we have sadness, guilt, boredom, and tiredness.
That moves with the slow.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Exactly. Now, when you come towards the right side, that is positive.
Yeah.
The right side is positive, but the lower end is also low intensity. So calmness, sereneness, contentment, and appreciation. And then you come to the next one, that up there where we have elation, that is sunlight, elation, happiness and all that.
Okay.
We need to move from the left side to the right side, because
right
see, when you're on the left side, it won't help you. You are actually killing yourself. In fact,
Yeah.
we actually tell people that the top there, you need to actually put it in jail, put it in prison. Because if you are there, it's draining you. Not only is it draining you, but it's affecting your health. A story is told of, I'm not going to mention the name, a story is told of a,
Patrick, before you go to the story, let me take this very quick break,
Sure.
and then we can break off with the story.
Excellent, okay.
Yeah, please stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, we are here in the lounge and we are discussing issues pertaining to. Okay, Patrick is here. I'll not say too much. Patrick, before we left off, there was an explanation you were giving. But yes, a story. But before you go to the story, there's a question from a viewer.
Yeah.
And this is Rita. She says I shouldn't mention where she is, so it's fine. But Rita says, could it be the intuitive nature of women that helps them to build a better resilience?
Okay. I would say that every individual, men and women, we all have intuitive capabilities. Just that women tend to activate their own. I mean, they tend to use more of their own, and men, because of the way we've been coached and trained, we tend to use more of our heads. So so that's the reason why. So, but it's very, when you are intuitive, you are able to know more. You're able to see many things that ordinarily people will not be able to. People will not understand why you feel that way, and yet it works for you, and then that is very true. Yeah.
So it's obvious because the women are much calmer than we are.
I think maybe we tend to, like we said, we are always engaged mentally.
Action.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then they are more, feeling in terms of, they use more of their heart. Let me put it that way. They use more of their heart. That is the reason why, And I'll show you something. When your heart is calm, you become more intuitive.
Let's go back to the story.
Okay. So I was telling you a story about a guy who there was a meeting, a big meeting. And then this guy, when the guy was, the leader, the chairman of the meeting was going, he should have handed over to the deputy. And then he didn't hand over to the deputy. And that is somebody else who was there, who was, as it were, lower than the deputy. The deputy got angry, went to his office. And then because of the anger, he fell down, collapsed, and that was the end.
Wow.
Yes. So that short moment, if he had managed his anger, build resilience and managed it,
would have stayed alive.
Would have stayed alive.
Yeah.
So it's a serious business that we are talking about. It's a serious thing that we're talking about. And like I said, the past 35 years, neuroscience through the Institute of Heart Math has been able to, document well-researched, papers to support what we are talking about today.
I see. Then I think this developing the kind of resilience that we will need, especially in our current economic situation, will be very, very, very necessary, because then.
Let me put you on the monitor and let's see what is happening to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
what's
sure.
going to happen?
Yeah, so let me just there's a biofeedback device, so
Okay.
I just want to put it there. Good.
All right.
And
So
then we'll
I'm sure those at home, you
yeah.
cannot see me
So-
now, but there's something being hooked to my ear.
Yeah, so we'll
Yeah.
monitor you for a minute, and then on
Okay.
the screen the graph
So
will
let
start
me just sit
showing.
down. Okay.
Yes, let me start it again. Let me start it. Okay, good. So monitor, and then I'll tell you to do something, and then we'll see what will be happening. So basically, we are looking at when your heart is calm. When you have resilience, you are able to, it's working now. When you have resilience, what happens is that your heart it remains calm and it generates a particular pattern, what we call it a coherent pattern.
Okay.
Now, it's monitoring what we call HRV, heart rate variability.
Okay.
Medical doctors will measure the heart rate, the level, but I'm measuring the heart rate variability. Now, so what we are seeing is your the way your heart is behaving.
Which one? The
graph.
green one or the
No. Just look at the top. Just the top.
Okay.
For now, but what has happened is that we just want to monitor it for a minute to get a base.
All right.
Then we can now move on to the other things.
Okay.
But I think that you even become a little bit calmer generally. But let's see how it goes. So now look at the pattern that is being generated. Okay. The pattern that is being generated. Okay. This is what we call it's an incoherent pattern.
Okay.
It's an incoherent pattern. Okay. You will see the green dropping because it's now resetting. So you see the green dropping now. We are monitoring it, and like I said, this is an incoherent pattern, so it means that there's a certain degree of stress in your system.
Okay.
Yeah, a certain degree of stress.
So I'm stressed.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to teach you. I'm going to tell you to do something, and then we'll compare what will happen and then what has happened already.
Okay.
Okay. So now I want you to. You can also close your eyes. You can decide to open. That's fine. But focus attention to the area of your heart or your chest area. And I want you to breathe in deeply and calmly. Just relax. Just breathe in deeply and calmly. You can do 5 seconds inhale, 5 seconds exhale. So breathe in deeply and calmly. Let's see the monitor, please. Breathe in deeply and calmly, and let's see what is going to happen. Okay, deeply and calmly. Don't stretch. Just normal breathing, but just fill your lungs with, and then breathe out everything out, and then let's see what happens. Okay. Now, you're doing well. Continue. Yeah. Okay. Now you see the green will start increasing, and then and you see a pattern being generated, a much more coherent pattern compared to the previous one, which is all over the place, up and down and all. There's a certain degree of coherence that is being achieved now.
So there's been some calmness to some extent.
Now, if you do this for the next 5 to 10 minutes, your heart is going to remain calm, and when your heart remains calm, it sends a signal to your brain, and your brain is also going to be calm. Now, when your brain needs a fuel for anger and stress and whatever, it will not be given. Why? Because your heart has to be, as it were, if you like, let's call it reset, and therefore you're not able to get that.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So then once this thing is hooked to my ear,
yes,
it begins to,
you stop breathing, right? You stop
I
doing
wasn't
breathing
breathing,
exercise. That's why so it's very sensitive.
I see.
Very, very sensitive. Your heart is very, very sensitive. You know.
And so with this, I mean, let me just ask this. I see the red is 42,
Yes.
which obviously would mean that the heart is, I am stressed. It's showing it.
Yes.
And I'm not very okay to that extent.
Yes.
What does it mean to me as a person?
Oh, well, we all have a certain degree of stress, but consciously, what we have to do is that if you practice this breathing exercise, you see, when we were in primary school, secondary school, our sports teachers would tell us to breathe in, breathe out, and we didn't know what it was. Today, neuroscience has discovered that those things were very, very powerful tools. It calms the heart, and when the heart is calm, it sends a signal to the brain becomes calm, and you become more creative, you become more intuitive, and then once you are calm, you build resilience. So difficult moment, you can roll with the punches. Difficult moments will come, difficult times will come, and yet you are not perturbed. Why? Because your body, your system is been calm, has been reset, and then as it were, like I showed you the weather report I showed you, you move from the left side to the right side just by changing your breathing pattern. That's all.
So that alone is enough to help you, build some level of calmness to help your resilience.
So now, if you are going for meetings and you know the meeting is going to be stressful, you can practice 5 minutes to 10 minutes breathing exercise before you go in. If you are in a midst, you are having an argument with your spouse or something like that, excuse yourself, go to the washroom for 5 to 10 minutes, go and practice balanced breathing. By the time you reset, now everything that happens, you'll be able to handle it in a much more matured way. You know, sometimes, I sometimes go to the prisons, and sometimes things that send people to the prison, very, very little thing. They couldn't control the anger, they couldn't control something, and then something happens, and then they end up over there. And if people knew some of these little techniques, they could have saved themselves. Yeah.
Well, I mean that's quite true and interesting as well. May I
Yeah,
take
sure,
this thing
please.
off my
Please,
ear?
yes, go ahead and move
Uh-huh.
on now. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, okay.
so what kinds of people can be more resilient?
No, I think people who are naturally okay. Let's look at some of the elements that will help us. Number
Yeah.
one, in our lives, we need a certain degree of amusement, a certain degree of fun. So let's have the wings, acrobatics, and things like
Oh,
that.
I like that
Oh
guy.
yeah, it makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need that. You can't be always be focusing on targets
We
and
take life
goals
too
and
serious
exactly.
sometimes.
So let's take life a
Yeah.
little bit easy. So we need that. The other thing you need is that whatever faith you hold, make sure you work with it properly. Whether you're a Christian or Muslim or whatever, your relationship with your God will also help you to build your resilience level. And then I say every organism in the world, when it's attacked outside, where does it run to? It runs home. Make sure your home is fun. Make sure your home is actually a safe zone that you can run to. You go out there, you are bombarded, you are hit and everywhere. Have you created a home that you can run to and you have that safe environment and peaceful environment? And I think that is another area that I think bothers me. That many people haven't created that home, that fun. They can't be free with their kids, they can't be free with their spouse, and then there's always tension, there's always no. That wouldn't help you because you see, you are running from, as it were, the dangers of society, the dangers of the economic situations, and you are going home, and you go home, and your home is also in turmoil. That becomes very difficult.
But the economic situation is at home as well.
No,
when the issue has to do with the economic situation, it's home too.
Now, on your deathbed, you are not asking for a bank account, you're asking for relationship. So
Of course.
build a good relationship at home.
Yeah.
When you build a good relationship at home, you can always run back to that relationship.
I see.
Okay.
So then it's I wouldn't say there's specifically any kind of person that can be more resilient, right?
No, not any specific. I mean, I think that once you have any of these elements in you and you are working with it, that should be fine. You build resilience, yeah.
I see. So I mean, how does being resilient help us as men?
No, I think that you need a clear head to be able to make decisions. And that is one of the key things. When you are resilient, remember I said your heart is calm, your head is calm, and in that context you can make the right decision. You can make the right decision.
I see. So
because when you are stressed, when you are stressed, it's not a good time to make a decision. When you are confused, it's not a good time to make a decision. And when you are disorganized, it's not a good time. You only make good decisions, solid decisions when you remain calm. And I think that is where this device helps us to do the breathing technique, but not only the breathing technique, and sometimes recreation. So daddy, I want ice cream. They cook. No, just take that weekend out, take the kids out, go and find just ice cream, and you yourself just chill out a bit.
Yeah. You know, in a part of the world, when you say chill out, it means going to the clubs and all, which is also part. It is part. Yes, we need it.
Yeah. So
I mean, in these hard times, we need to.
Yeah. So anything that, again, there are some people they rewind.
Yeah.
The introverts, for instance, they rewind. When they are alone.
Yeah.
The extrovert, they rewind when they are amongst other people. So if for you going home and watching television, watching some action movie, getting some popcorn and things like that makes you revive, that's fine. But if you also have to go out there with the boys or with the girls and then stay out there and chill, that is also fine. Whatever, you must know yourself, whatever makes you revive, whatever makes you resilient, whatever makes you calm, I mean, just do it.
Well, it simply means that we take life too serious sometimes. We need to make time to have some fun. Whatever we think makes us calm is what we need to be doing. Yes. Because being calm is how you can build some very good resilience for yourself when it comes to the pressures that we go through. The phone lines will be open soon. However, keep your messages coming on our Facebook page at ETV Ghana, and also on the WhatsApp number, which is 0202222054. I'm going on my very last break. Please stay with us. I'm still here with Patrick. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. At this point, the phone lines are open, so feel free call us. Patrick is still here. You can ask him questions. You can even ask me also questions. I've taken the test and I know how it works, so you can also ask me questions. Then the phone number is 0555 0555 I'm still here with Patrick. We are looking at the issues around developing resilience, and we've learned that whatever makes us calm is what we need, so that when we are calm we can control our hearts well and we can build some very good resilience. So this is a message coming from Ajua from North Kaneshi. I understand resilience also has a physical, emotional, and social component. I was actually Ajua, yeah, it's good you sent this because I was going to go to that. And how does that work?
I said that there are actually four domains.
Four domains, yes.
The physical strength, energy,
Yeah.
your mental.
Yeah.
Okay, then we spoke about spiritual.
Yeah.
And we spoke about the emotional
aspect, yes.
Okay, now I think that with the social, we can situate the social still with the emotional. Where people interact with other people, and then the effects of it and all that, how it impacts us. But if you have, like I said,
Patrick, I'm going to have to hold you. I
okay,
told
no
you.
problem, that's fine, no problem.
Good evening, caller. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Samuel, calling from Tamale.
Hi, Samuel. Thanks for calling. Please, let's hear you.
Oh.
Well, we lost Samuel. Samuel, if you can, kindly call back, and Patrick is here. I'm here. You can ask your question so we can deal with it. Yes. Is he still on the line? No, I think Patrick is not on the line. I mean, Samuel is not on the line anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're talking about the I think the spiritual part.
Yes. So I think that we can situate the social within the context of the emotional. And then once because emotional is usually the emotional intelligence, where you interact with other people. Yes,
Yeah.
you have your own part of it, understanding yourself, but also understanding other people and working with them. So we can situate it there. Yeah.
But I keep going back to this thing.
Yeah.
Considering our current, situation as generally as a country.
Yeah.
Look, it's not rosy out there.
I know.
It's really difficult.
I know.
I mean, take the issues of fuel, take the issues of transportation, food. Relatively, salaries are also not even matching up to the current economical situations.
Yeah.
This resilience thing comes across as something that would be very, very important.
Yeah.
But the thing is this: the situation is not even making us calm. You see, the situation is not making us calm enough to be able to, should I say, think and build that resilience that is expected of us.
Nana, if you know it's of great importance to you, it's actually a survival issue.
So you would?
You will have to, because you don't have an option. If you continue without being resilient, and then ultimately you're going to lose your life, what is the point? That's what I'm saying, that it's a survival issue. So whatever it is, you need to make sure. Look at evaluate and see if you follow that and just say, okay, let yourself go and be stressed and be emotional and be angry, like we saw on the screen, dissipating a lot of energy like that. What are you doing to yourself? And if you're a mother, what are you doing? How are the kids? I said the other thing too is that we have, especially for the home, what I really am scared of is the fact that we leak the way we feel through to the children, to everybody around us. Because you see, as your heart produces electromagnetic signals. When it's continuous, it becomes a magnetic field.
Yeah.
Now, that magnetic field can be measured 10 feet away from the body using a magnetometer.
Okay.
Now, what that means is that people, the way you feel, you can, send it out to other people around you, and they'll feel the same way. And the painful thing is that some of us, we go to the office, we get stressed, we come home, and then we share the stress
bad
to the
energy,
kids at home.
bad energy. Yeah.
And for me, that is what I am really, really. You see a teacher, he's stressed at home, he comes to school, then he sees children sitting down, he's contaminating all of them with that, because the state of the person's mind is not right.
Yeah.
So we need to, because you see, it's the impact, we may not see it now, But in other cultures, mental health is a key issue.
It is key in our
Ve-
cultures as well.
Yeah, but here we are not actually promoting it, but that is what we are talking about. So at the end of the day, if we can let people know that mental health is a serious stuff, and it begins from here.
Well, I'm going to come back to you again. However, those of you who were part of the show last week, I did mention that from last week to the end of December and maybe beyond, I will make sure I give you gifts every week. Sometimes a caller might win something nice from me. My discretion. You have to be nice to me. As to how you can be nice to me for me to see, I don't know, but you have to be nice to me. So I probably can give you a gift, and then my guest, I'll make sure I'm going to try as much as possible to be giving you gifts anytime you come in. Do you know anything about Yamvita?
Yes. By the way, it's
that is obviously what comes in the minds of
Yes,
so
yes,
Yamvita is obviously one of the most nutritious foods that Promasidol, those foods that in cowbell a couple of years back. Yes, they've done a lot. They've added a lot of products, and now Yamvita is one of their babies, and it's doing a lot of magic to our kids. In fact, I'm sure it's from Yamvita. Please, Patrick, this one is for you. But I'll have a monitor in there to make sure it gets to your house. If it doesn't get home, I'll know. So, Patrick.
Oh,
but you know, the fact is that some of us, when we're young, we didn't get these things.
Yeah, that's true.
I honestly wouldn't mind hiding in the corner somewhere and eating it. After all, Vita, look, you should do Penin Vita. Big Vita and bring for us. So, Patrick, this is yours.
Oh, thank you so much.
So,
thank you so much.
Like I said, I have a monitor in there. I'll be monitoring.
I hear you.
So make sure it gets home.
I hear it will get home.
Patrick, make sure it gets home.
It will get home.
Make sure it gets home. How many times have I said that?
It will get home.
3 times.
3 times. Yes, it will get home.
If it doesn't get home,
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Patrick,
much.
thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us this evening to have the discussion on resilience. Give us your last words.
Well, I want to say that you need to value your own life. No medical doctor can prescribe what you have to do with your life. Nobody can prescribe exercises for you, but you will have to sit down and know what you want in life. The fact that you want to live long, you want to live a happy life, a joyful life, make the inputs, remain calm, and I believe that you'll be able to achieve the resilience that we are looking for. I know the environment is already stressed, but if you are able to remain calm, you'll be able to roll with all the punches that comes your way. And then you won't even feel anything, so it will pass and you realize that you have been able to succeed in all your endeavors. So thank you so much.
Well, I guess that you've heard a lot. Remaining calm, yes, is very, very important. I have a personal experience. I'm not sure whether I have time to share that. Maybe another time I would like to share that. But hey, what can we do? It's tough out there. Situations are not easy. We are not in normal time. We've not been in normal time for the past 2 years. And please, for your sanity's sake, let's learn how to be calm, taking a lot of exercise, and let's ease the life a little bit. Sometimes we take life too serious. Let's have the fun. Let's do the things that will make us smile, will make us forget our woes and troubles. It helps. It's the only way we can help build our own resilience against the current situations that we find ourselves. Guys, I can't say much. Stay out of trouble. Be safe till I'm back next week with something much, much more exciting. Thank you so much, Promasidol. Thank you for the products Yamvita that you have brought us. We are happy that you have joined us on this show. Patrick.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I'm
sir.
sure we'll meet again.
Definitely.
Have a great evening.
Right.